So, David, I hear this new show coming up, the Fortean Slip.
I don't know where these douchebags are coming from.
Steve Alcorn's a fine investigator. What he's doing with this Chris dude, I have no idea.
Christopher York is fucked up. The dude is seriously fucked up.
Put that on the show.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
You harassed me to watch this piece of shit.
And ultimately a piece of shit it is.
And fucking listen!
I was going to make a lemming noise.
I was a fucking lemming.
I don't know. How do you explain those kind of things?
Aliens are actually time travelers from the future.
So don't worry, in the future, we're still ignorant bastards.
This show is going to be fucked up.
I'd like to tell you all this show is going to be good. But let's face facts. Good evening, and welcome to the Fortean Slip. I am your jackass, unprofessional, amateur, petty bitch host, Christopher York. Joining me, as always, a man with a new microphone, Steve Alcorn.
Thank you, Chris. I hope I sound better now.
Sasquatchscoop.com.
And don't forget youtube.com/slicktoys, SLIKTOYS.
And with us from bigfootcrossroads.com, Mr. Matt Knapp.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
Smiles tattoo. Tonight it's, what are we at, episode 16, 15,
Fine color.
25? I think it's like 16.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't fucking know. We don't keep track around here. I don't have like a little board. It's the Xmas Origins Santa Claus episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
See what you did there?
Yeah, yeah. You see that? You get that?
Yeah.
Huh?
I get it.
Huh?
Xmas.
Time to pop the claws.
I was gonna call it Fat Man in a Little Coat.
Fat guy in a little coat.
Love that skit.
I've actually done that skit. In real life, it sucked.
I'm skinny and I've done that skit. Yeah.
Not so much here.
It is almost
Sorry.
Christmas time
In the city.
in the city. Last week we did Krampus, the Christmas demon. This week, it's good old
Beautiful
Saint Nick.
Saint Nick.
Saint Nick, the origins of Santa Claus. I didn't realize that he came from, or in some cultures, he came from the god Odin. Doing some reading. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Viking Klaus.
Yeah, Viking Klaus, like the Klaus of magic and fucking poetry.
Him and Thor kicked it.
Yeah. Then he hung upside down over a fucking
Yeah, Rainbow
pool of
Bridge
water.
would make it a lot easier to visit all the children of the world, though.
Hey. And having that magic, that helps you get down them chimneys.
It does.
I have
I
no
prefer me
clue
some
about
magic
Odin.
when I'm trying to get in and out of houses. Undetected. I prefer me some magic. That's the only real true way to get in and out without being noticed.
A little bit of magic.
Yeah.
Gift of the Magi.
No technology here, boys and girls. Just straight up magic. I'm sneaking
Just a
into your
bottle of
house.
Dixie cider.
You're going to have a secret when I leave.
Oh Lord.
Isn't that kind of creepy though? I mean, the whole Santa
The whole
Claus
Santa
pedophile
Claus idea?
connection.
Fucking right it is. He knows when
Well,
you're
yeah.
sleeping. He knows when you're awake. The motherfucker's stalking kids.
Leaving them gifts.
You
gotta
gotta
make
gotta
them
whisper what you
cookies
want in
and-
his ear.
Yeah. Sit on my lap and tell me what you want. I was drunk the last time I did that.
Sit on my lap and tell me what you want for Christmas, little boy. Yeah.
Surrounds himself with like man-childs,
Let's take a picture so we can remember this.
forcing them into slave labor.
That's right.
It's kind of a jacked up deal.
He's like fucking Willy Wonka with the Oompa Loompas. Those Oompa Loompas didn't want to be with fucking Willy Wonka.
Of course not.
They're fucking...
Hey.
He was beating the shit out of them motherfuckers.
They seemed happy though.
They sang a lot. That's all. So,
Yeah.
you know what? So did fucking black people when they were picking cotton. Doesn't mean they were fucking happy about it.
Well, maybe you're right there. I never thought of it that way.
But yeah, Santa
Claus was real, they'd be like shutting him down.
Well, Santa Claus was real though. That's the thing, you know. Aren't we doing the origins?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
are.
So Santa Claus was based on, well, either Odin in some cultures or Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas, who was born in the year 270.
The year 270.
270. I'm assuming 80.
I hope so.
The website that I am on doesn't specify 80, but I'm pretty sure it would be 270 AD. So, and you know what he did though? He paid the dowries of impoverished girls. So, like girls who couldn't afford to get married, apparently.
He liked girls with daddy issues. Is that what you're telling me about fucking Saint
I-
Nick?
I think so. And then for some reason he handed out treats and coins to children.
Oh, he handed out
In their
treats
sh-
already.
Yeah,
For
but he-
some reason.
But he did it anonymously. He did it anonymously, and he left them in their shoes.
Yeah, he did it anonymously through a hole in a wall, and he said, here's the snake. The treat comes out of the end.
Oh, look, it's a candy cane.
Yeah, suck on this, kids.
I think that St. Nicholas had a shoe fetish, a foot fetish or something, because he
foot
left them in the
fetish?
shoes. And
Just
then we
for the
still
record-
have. The thing is, he still likes stockings. That's where he puts your, your gifts.
Just for the record, I would like to mention that all these jokes we're making about a saint.
But he's dead. He doesn't know. He doesn't care. Maybe.
All's fair in Christmas.
Yes, obviously.
So Saint Nick, yeah, Steve, continue.
Yeah. Oh, Saint Nick. That's pretty much it on Saint Nick.
That's pretty much
That's
it.
it?
That's all we've got on the guy.
Well, he was,
I always like the Germanic version. You know, the big German guy with the fur coats and
right.
Did he wield
Pulling a
like a
wagon
big
around.
club?
yeah.
Fuck.
He always looked
people
like a
up.
badass to me.
That's the kind of Santa Claus you want. He's fucking badass. They make comic books about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not, man?
Kicks the shit out of people. Saves the day.
Punch reindeer in the head and knock them out.
That's right. They try to fuck with him, and he just walks up and just clocks him right in the face. Fly, bitch.
My version of Santa Claus actually eats the reindeer over like a campfire.
Things get bad. He just fucking takes one out,
Yeah.
roasts it
It's
over
cold.
the fire in front of all the other reindeer.
You know, those shitty sugar cookies get old. And Santa might be lactose intolerant. You never know.
And when you're on the road,
As many different origin stories as there are behind Santa Claus, and the different ways that people have worked their own religious beliefs, their own beliefs, period, into what has become known as Christmas in the United States, I think everybody has the right at this point to make their own version of shit.
I think that's a fair
Make
statement.
up your own Santa Claus and worship that one or whatever.
we're worshiping Santa Claus now.
A guy that comes around and gives people free shit for no reason, yeah, I'll worship the guy.
I'll worship him too, man. I'll take some free shit.
Listen, I don't know about you, but I follow the teachings of Moses.
Okay. Amos Moses, or
Yeah, that one. the one that wasn't allowed into the fucking Israel after he took all the people there.
oh, you mean the one that delivered the most important items ever in the history of Earth and lost them?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy.
Interesting. So anyway, Santa Claus has only been Santa Claus for 200 years. It comes from the Dutch tradition. He was a bishop who traveled from house to house to deliver treats to children. But it was on December 5th.
Always the fucking bishops and priests and fucking doing shit with children. Sick.
So like the
fucks.
children of like 201 year ago, like really got shafted.
No, they didn't get fucking molested, Matt. Are you not listening to the
No.
story?
Sorry. They got a fucking toy out of the deal.
Well,
What more do you want? These days, kids just get a screwed up, childhood.
Fuck, I only
Keep
got
my
socks,
toy. I
man.
sat on his lap, whispered in his ear, let him touch me.
Only
I got
toy
sock-
they get
I
is the
got
one to
socks.
show them where they touched them.
I got socks and long johns. That's all I got for fucking Santa Claus.
Socks and long johns.
Yes, that's what I got every Christmas. And Spam.
Wait a minute.
Eventually, the
Socks,
term
long johns, and spam.
Yes, it's a tradition in my house to give me Spam for Christmas.
Oh.
Yes, because I like it.
Steve.
You are aware there are other meats out there that aren't processed.
That actually contain meat.
I like Spam. Is there something wrong with that?
No, nothing at all. If you
I'll-
prefer meat with jelly on top of it, go right ahead.
I'll eat Spam on anything. I'll make sandwiches with it. I'll fry it. I don't care. I'll put it
There's
in
a
my
bad Dr. Seuss rhyme in here somewhere. So you
my
just sit around on Christmas
Santa Claus,
Day, like eating Spam in your long johns and socks.
I also get Miracle Whip. That's my mother gives me Miracle.
And no bread. They're just shafting you on the bread.
No, they don't give me the bread. I have to supply that myself.
Is Miracle Whip like really good? I think that somebody just told people that it was good once, and people were just like, "Oh, we gotta have Miracle Whip." Because mayonnaise is so much better than fucking Miracle Whip.
Don't be hating on Miracle Whip now.
It's Miracle Whip. What's the miracle?
The miracle is people buy it.
That there's people that actually enjoy the taste of it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the taste of it. I even have a T-shirt, a Miracle Whip T-shirt.
You
that I
would
wear.
have a fucking Miracle
I
Whip
do.
t-shirt, you fucking back ass. Right.
This long john wearing motherfucker.
So now in 1809.
So was the Spam like in your stocking, or
No, it's wrapped up just like every other Christmas gift.
like a legit Christmas gift?
My Uncle John gets me that every year. Yes. So I know, it kind of takes a surprise out of things, but at least I get what I want. So. In 1809,
The sad part is that at least he gets what he wants. That's what he wants. That's his go-to gift.
Spam and Miracle Whip. What the hell? How could you have a better
So like
Christmas
whenever
than
your
that?
parents took you to visit, the local mall Santa or whatever, whenever you were a kid, did he ever give you a funny look after he asked you what you wanted for Christmas? I want a can of Spam, Santa.
I was scared of the local mall Santa. I was one of those
You're
kids
not
who
scared
ran
of
crying.
Uncle John who gives you Spam every year.
I am scared of Uncle John. However, I'll take the Spam anyhow. In 1809, a book, A History of New York, Washington Irving did away with the characterization of Santa Claus as a lanky bishop, and that's how he became a portly old fat guy smoking a pipe. So it was in 1809. I'm trying to get the show back on track here.
Screw this skinny
Show
guy.
is never on track, Steve. Not when you go into I got Long John socks and Spam, and out of the three things, I wanted the Spam.
We really needed to do this show on the origin of Steve Alcorn.
I'm not sure that's a good idea, but if we want to do that in the future, we can.
As an outsider,
Looking
your
in.
holidays growing up as a child seem very entertaining.
Mm-hmm. All of them.
All of
Every
them.
single one of them.
Matt, I seriously think that his stories about it it's one of those things where it's far better to hear about it than to have actually been there to witness it.
Absolutely.
Trust me, you are correct, sir. It is not fun
receiving
to
a
witness
can of
these things.
Spam in my household would be a gag gift.
Two cans, usually.
Because who can just give one? I mean,
Yeah.
Because I eat one per sitting. I mean, I love this stuff so much. All right.
in the event of an apocalypse, Steve will be all right.
Yeah,
Right.
because his whole body's going to be preserved from all the salt in it.
Yeah.
So you were saying, Steve?
So part of the mythology behind the creation of Santa Claus was that Coca-Cola, created the modern look, the red and white and shit. But that really was actually from the late 1800s, from a guy named Louis Prang, who was an artist. And then, of course, who's that famous dude that did all the illustrations? I can't remember it.
Norman Rockwell?
That's the guy. He's the one, who made it more popular. And then, of course, Coca-Cola, dressed him up in red and white. And
I used to have one of those Coca-Cola Santa Clauses. Like, they had, like, a stuffed version with, like, a rubber face. And he held a little bottle of Coca-Cola.
Cool.
Just saying.
Oh, I forgot to talk about where the reindeer came from.
Where did the reindeer come from?
Well, that was from Clement Moore, the 1882
North Pole.
Or 22. I don't actually think there are reindeer in the North Pole, but
Finland?
1822 poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, now more commonly known as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, was the first introduction of reindeer. So that was pretty cool, I thought. Yeah, not really.
How did how did Rudolph come to be?
I don't know. That was
Oh, really?
It was from the song.
Children's book in like the 1930s, I believe. 1936, possibly.
Yeah, it was from the song,
No, it was a children's book.
Well, it was, whatever. Who cares?
I looked it up like last week.
I'm
not
acting
gonna
like-
lie. Like that.
I'm acting like I know what the hell I'm talking about. And I don't.
This is not typical information I would know.
Bullshit. You're full of
So then,
inane,
of course-
useless information.
Any department store worth their salt would have a department store Santa Claus, and the first time that happened was in 1890. So that's pretty cool.
1890.
Yeah, 1890. A guy named James Edgar was the first department store Santa.
The first creepy guy to dress up like Santa Claus
Right.
and get a job involving multitudes of children sitting on a stranger's lap.
Oh, and it was in Brockton, Massachusetts. So that's pretty cool too. Not really.
In which the Santa sat there and said, "Sit on my lap, you fucker."
I am Santa Claus.
And of course,
Come sit on my lap.
I live at the North Pole. You can't get there from here.
Santa was a bad
I'm not as good as Chris at that. by
Come
the way.
take a ride in my sleigh. The top's open.
just, yeah.
Where did the
of
elves
course-
come from?
I love how Matt's like grilling Steve. Like it's like it's
The,
like we're on fucking Law and Order SVU. Steve's sitting in the other chair, and Matt's like,
under a
"Listen,
hot light.
where the fuck is it?"
Tell us about the elves, Uncle Steve.
I don't know where the elves came from. The website that I'm reading from That's not necessary. However, I can tell you where Santa's wife first appeared. That was in 1849 in a story, A Christmas Legend
I
by
can
James
too.
Rees.
He was riding along in the sleigh, waving at people, and all of a sudden her head popped up and she was wiping her mouth off.
You know, I'm going to do a Google search right now for where the elves came from. Google is my friend.
Meantime, so Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
Ah,
So she was in
1849.
on this whole pedophile bit.
Apparently, he wasn't married until 1849, and he's been around since 270. So it's a long time to be a pedophile, apparently.
Since he was a saint, did he perform his own wedding?
It could be. I don't know. Do saints perform weddings? I don't know.
In this story, they do.
Okay.
My Santa Claus does.
Okay. Well,
Merry Christmas. I now pronounce the...
So it says, in days gone by, children loved Saint Nick but were afraid of his helpers, for it was told that it was his helpers who kept track of who was naughty and nice. So, but it doesn't say where they came from.
Yeah, they're the ones that captured the children.
Yes.
That's from ChristmasWithLove.com. What a beautiful website.
Well, you don't
Did you
want to name
guys
it
ever
Christmas with
grow
hate.
up in an area that had a Santa house?
A Santa house?
Yeah, like here, there was literally a house,
No.
and its whole purpose was it was a business around Christmas time, and it was Santa's house, and you actually went in it, and it was like a full working house and everything, and Santa was inside it, and you could tell him what you wanted and all that, and the whole thing was decorated extravagantly with Christmas stuff.
Yeah,
No,
we had
there's
that.
there's a place in New Hampshire that's probably about 2 hours from where I'm at. I don't know how far it is by miles, but it's called Santa's Village, and it is like basically like a little. It's not a big theme park. It's like a little theme park where it's just all themed Christmassy Santa shit. And
We had Santa's workshop. That's
Santra's.
what we had. Santra. I think that's
That's
what they
the.
said.
That's so that
Santa.
they didn't get copyright
Santa.
infringement.
I have no idea.
But yeah,
So
that's
in
what
the
we had.
in the Netherlands, Santa's only had one elf, and it was Black Peter.
Oh, all right.
I'm
like
just
to
saying. I'm giving you
apologize.
the history.
I'd like to apologize for Steve.
In Iceland, his elves were called Yule lads. Yule lads. I can't pronounce what they were in Germany or French.
They
Or
were
you
they were called victims, Steve. That's what they
In
were called.
Luxembourg, they're known as Hosecker.
Jesus Christ.
Well, the Christmas
You
elf.
asked about the fucking elves. I'm
The
telling
Christmas elf, see, I know the answer, actually appeared around 1850 when a woman by the name of Louisa May Alcott
you. Ah, yes.
but never published a book entitled Christmas Elves.
She is one of my favorite authors. Because I've read Little Women. Not really.
Yeah, so a lot of this just comes from like people writing books and making the shit up.
That's most of it.
And stuff gets picked up over time and eventually becomes legend.
Here's an interesting one. Prior to the influence of St. Nicholas in Sweden, the job of giving out gifts was done by the Yule goat.
Yes, and Santa actually rode the Yule goat.
So now we've got a goat involved. This
And
is
Krampus,
getting
the
weirder
Christmas
and weirder.
demon.
The deeper you go into Santa Claus's history, the stranger it gets.
It's just a strange, strange world. But speaking
And
of
there's
strange
our moment
things,
of
since we've fucking delved into the depths of depravity, the Norm Glasser
Norm Glasser.
Picture.
The true Christmas elf.
That's right. Steve,
Did you see the photo I
Yeah.
uploaded today with the Christmas hat on the fucking thing? Merry Christmas, Norm.
Yeah, so Matt, you released your story about the origins of that. Since we're on origin stories.
More origin stories. I actually tracked down the lady, Amy Petula, I believe, who runs the Chattanooga Ghost Tours company in Tennessee. And at the time, she was in possession of the Sugar Flat-Road Creature head display. And she remembers Norm visiting her and taking the ghost tour. And he was especially excited and intrigued by the head display. And she remembers him taking numerous photos of the display.
Imagine
and
that.
actually inquired about purchasing it. But it turns out later on, whenever she actually contacted him to see if he wanted to purchase the head, apparently he had already gotten what he needed from it and didn't return her phone calls. And so the head went back to the original owners, if anybody's curious. But yeah, it pretty much uncovered, okay, it verifies Norm was here during the summer, took pictures of the thing on display, and ran with it, which you can read more about at bigfootcrossroads.com.
Way to plug.
Thank you.
Plug.
And Steve, you released some of the interview on that, right?
Just a partial. I just wanted to release the, I call it the meat and bones, the story, the backstory and the sighting story. Just
The
to
spam
show,
and miracle whip, if you will.
Yes, the spam and the miracle whip of the story.
Old Steve, he released the meat and potatoes of it.
Well, is that what it is? Meat and potatoes? I wrote
It's
meat and bones
meat and
everywhere.
potatoes there, Steve. Jesus Christ. Get it right.
I did it wrong. God
Thank
almighty.
you,
I
ex-former
screwed it in the
president.
head. Anyway, so was that supposed to be a president? Which one? So anyway,
It was either George W. Bush or M.K. Davis.
I think it was George W. Bush and M.K. Davis's bastard child is what that was. Can that happen?
Hello.
And
My name is
I'm supposed to be.
M.K. Bush. Yeah.
M.W. Bush.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, I released part of the interview, just the spam and miracle whip of it, and it'll give you an idea of
See what he did there,
how
Matt?
elaborate. Yes, because Matt mentioned that, so I thought I would just place it in there, and I'm going to use that from now on. So it'll just give you an idea of how rehearsed or how much he thought about this before he ever got to me. So, and I'm sure there's more to come from Matt and myself. My the videos at youtube.com/slicktoys, SLIKTOYS. And that is my shameless plug.
You are shameless, both of you. But don't you have some news?
Of course. In our first story tonight from io9.com, to date, we know of only two things that can reverse the effects of aging: caloric restriction and extensive
And
exercise.
semen, ladies.
Extensive sexercise, apparently.
What do... Never mind.
But in a recent experiment, researchers applied a new compound to a 2-year-old mice, causing their muscles to regenerate to 6-month-old levels. Incredibly, human trials may start next year. The new compound...
And apparently have already started at Chris's house.
The new compound, nicotinamide mononucleotide, or NMN, for
Or
short,
semen.
works surprisingly quickly when tested on mice. When administered early enough in the aging process, it was found to work within 1 week. The muscles of older 2-year-old mice were
I swear it works
indistinguishable from
great as
their
a mask.
younger-
It must be the salt in the air from being on the ship that Chris is referring to.
The muscles of the older 2-year-old mice were indistinguishable from the younger 6-month-old animals. It improved muscle wastage, restored mitochondrial function and communication, and improved inflammation and insulin resistance. Both are known to cause aging. To put it in perspective, this result was like regenerating the muscles of a 60-year-old human to those of a 20-year-old.
Because it's not enough that we have people like Jack LaLanne out there and other creepy old buff guys.
Quite obviously, this comparison should be taken with a grain of salt. Human aging and metabolism is quite different from that of mice. What's more, muscle strength did not improve, though the researchers are hoping to correct that. It's also an example of partial age reversal. The mice still have other age-related problems like neurodegenerative.
Scientific term, at least.
I'm married.
I'm going to be honest. I couldn't look at a mouse and tell you one from another as far as age is concerned.
Yeah. The focus of the research, like so many studies into aging, was directed at mitochondria, the power packs of cells that carry out biological functions. In this case, UNSW Medicine's David Sinclair isolated the muscular processes inside cells that enable communication between the mitochondria and the nucleus.
Were any of the mice tested for HGH?
Over time, the integrity of this communication
Yes, and
breaks
the ones
down,
that tested positive were kicked out of the program
which accelerates the aging process.
because they were hitting these huge home runs.
The key to Sinclair's research was in finding a way to restore this communication. As we age, our levels of NAD decline.
The people who ran the mouse labs swear they didn't know anything about it.
Facilitating this unfortunate communication cascade. But by applying... you guys suck.
What?
But by applying the new compound to both muscle tissue culture and lab mice, the researchers were able to restore...
One mouse by the name of Alex Rodriguez was quoted as saying, "It's a witch hunt!"
By the name of Mark McGuire.
Okay, from RT.com, our next story. Texas judge, search warrants can be obtained based on predictions of future crime.
Fucking Minority Report is here.
Police in Texas may now obtain a search warrant based on a prediction of future crime, according to a dissenting judge on the state's criminal appeals court.
But doesn't that mean the evidence wouldn't be there yet?
Leave it to Texas.
The ruling...
It's kind of pointless to, you know.
The ruling by the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals came last week, ending a controversial case in which police searched a house before obtaining a warrant, but were still able to present the confiscated evidence during a trial. The incident began during the summer of 2010 when police in Parker County, Texas, staked out...
All sat around a Ouija board
Warenberg's
and
home.
went, "Where is the evidence?"
There's a thing called the Constitution. And part of the Constitution...
You mean that
says
thing that they
something
piss
about-
all over?
Right. And one of the things it talks about is improper search and seizure.
According to the Dallas Observer, authorities allegedly received a tip from a confidential informant stating Warenberg and his associates were fixing to cook meth in the home. Without obtaining a search warrant, they walked into the home and arrested the people inside.
You could really fuck with some people in Texas.
It was only after arrests were made that police sought out the warrant necessary to confiscate the meth-making material in the home, including boxes of pseudoephedrine, stripped lithium batteries, and other items. On the warrant application, however, police declined to mention that they had actually been in the house prior to obtaining authorization for the search, mentioning only the informant who tipped them off. During Warenberg's trial, his attorney argued that confiscated material was inadmissible due to the fact that police seized it illegally. The judge overruled this request, saying federal independent source doctrine allows such evidence when a third party, i.e. the unnamed informant, tells police about it beforehand. As a result, Warenberg pleaded guilty to 1 count of possession and another count of intent to manufacture. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison. The Second Court of Appeals then overturned the trial judge's decision, but ultimately the Court of Criminal Appeals agreed with the original ruling. As the Observer reported, the majority opinion written by Judge Elsa Alcala stated that while Texas law prohibits illegally obtained evidence to be submitted, federal precedent allows it if first confirmed by an independent third party.
Somebody tell Tom Cruise that one of the precogs was off.
And in our final story from the Huffington Post, one of my favorites. Are ancient aliens really futuristic human time travelers?
Time travelers?
Before.
Time. Fucking
time.
Speak. Use your words, Steve. Remember we talked about this.
I should go back to my old mic where you couldn't understand what I was saying, but it didn't sound like I was saying that. This is from...
Time traveling can be very dangerous.
The growing popularity of the History Channel series, Ancient Aliens, has led to some interesting speculations about what or who...
What the fuck makes Giorgio Tsoukalos' fucking hair stand up like that? Is it Aquanet?
Aliens!
About what or who may have once visited our ancestors, imparting knowledge and technological advancement that led to leaps and bounds in human development. Originally, the concept of ancient aliens or ancient astronauts pointed to extraterrestrial intervention occurring thousands of years ago, and possibly even a little genetic intervention as well. The ancient astronaut theory posits that our ancestors experienced these huge leaps forward in advancement of scientific, astronomical, technological, and medical knowledge that they simply could not have happened on their own. We must have had some help from above, from entities far more intelligent and evolved than we.
'Cause we're stupid.
Dumb, really.
While many argue that there is no proof we humans needed a little help from above to make those huge jumps forward in our evolution, there are many who insist that the archaeological evidence is clear. We were once hanging out with aliens, maybe even breeding with them, or having their DNA spliced into our own, possibly against our knowledge or will. Those theories also posits that these aliens were from advanced civilizations coming to visit lowly Earth people and impart what they knew of the vast cosmos and all possibilities.
This is the point where Steve has gotten completely fucking bored reading the news. I just want to state that for
lost. He doesn't care.
I just quickly read through the rest of this story, and it doesn't even mention time travelers.
Yes, it does.
The title is... Where?
I read the fucking thing, so yes, it does.
So I'll continue reading. But what about...
You've already read this.
I found it. But what about time travel times?
There you go.
In between times. If we entertain the ancient astronaut theory, and there's compelling circumstantial evidence to give it a serious thought, we must
But we can't take a look at Bigfoot.
We must accept that the aliens that intervened weren't indeed aliens at all. Might they have been, dare I say, us, humans from the future, coming back to teach, warn, guide humans of the past? Lest you think that a ridiculously unfounded statement, let's bring up an interesting subject, Roswell. In the summer of 1947, a mysterious object crashed on a ranch in the desert near Roswell, New Mexico, creating a firestorm of ongoing controversy. Original news stories claimed it as a flying saucer, but were immediately suppressed in favor of a weather balloon story, courtesy of the authorities, the classic cover-up. Roswell is now the stuff of legends, as well as movies, TV shows, books, and a dozen and continued debates and discussion as to exactly what happened on a fateful day in history. Were alien bodies discovered at the crash site, as many claim,
pull it together,
whisked away to a top-secret hangar at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base? Was the craft later back-engineered at the notorious Area 51 in Nevada? Was there an alien autopsy done on the crash victims, as claimed by a TV show years ago? We still really don't know what happened at Roswell, but there is an ancient alien astronaut link that adds to the mystery. According to renowned U.S. Navy commander named George W. Hoover, the aliens may have been human beings from the future.
The aliens,
come back
they might have been
well,
humans from the future. Oh, wrong guy.
us come back to interact with us. Allegedly, Hoover had top secret clearance as part of his work as a naval intelligence officer to view the Roswell debris and bodies during the 1950s, and he eventually told a very select group of people before his death of his beliefs. Those people included his own son, George Hoover Jr., and later ufologist and researcher William Burns, both of whom were made privy to what the elder Hoover knew before his
So
death.
obviously, these guys weren't good at keeping a secret.
Apparently.
I mean, if it's worked its way to the Fortean Slip, they weren't exactly trustworthy.
Hoover stated during interviews that he believed the aliens were not extraterrestrial, but were extratemporal, as in time travelers. In addition, he believed they were not really aliens at all, but humans of the future with incredible abilities to use powers of consciousness to morph reality and travel through the landscape of time.
With mice on steroids as traveling companions.
Hoover's story mirrors other stories from some ufologists and many UFO abductees that aliens may have been and may still be humans of the future who have found the technology to overcome the limitations of light speed and time travel paradoxes that keep present-day humans
Time Traveler Commissioner Bud Selig says he doesn't know anything about anything.
So if they're coming back from the future and abducting other humans, they're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Ancient aliens may in fact be future humans. It's a mind-bending idea, but not an entirely impossible.
Don't ever question my fucking news stories again, Alcorn. I swear to fucking God.
Future humans.
I'm sorry. Okay, that's the news, guys. But that story just fucking drug on and on before it got to the
You just
time
hate it
travel
because it
part.
came
I'm
from the
looking for
fucking
time travel
Huffington
part.
Post.
I love the Huffington Post. The Huffington.
The Huffington.
Post,
Blah, 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 blah.
All right, end the show, Chris. I think we screwed up another whole show.
We screw up every show.
Do the outro. Well, you got an intro. You got to have an outro, right?
Yeah.
Like this has been the Fortean Slip or some bullshit like that.
This has been the Fortean Slip. The Christmas episode.
Or some shit.
Yeah. Or something. We don't fucking know.
Oh, God. This is the point of the show my son interrupts. At least he waited till the end. He just said, uh-oh. Did you speed up the music?
What? The fuck is
Trying to
wrong
show
with you?
Over so fast. You sped
DJ
up.
Chris York on the ones and twos.
Scratching it up.
You're gonna speed it up.